I'm going to go through and explain the personal department and organizational cultural assessment major project overview for City Vision's organizational behavior, developing healthy organization. So what this assignment really is about is we're going to combine the managerial behavioral profile that you already did, and you're going to compare that to the department profile and then to your organizational profile. Now, some of you might be in organizations where you are the department. So what you would do in that case is you would complete the OCAI. So the first time you complete it, you should complete it based on what you think is best for the organization. The second time you complete it, if you're doing the department and you're all by yourself, and if you're also doing a departmental assessment, you should say what you think is best for the department or what you think is the best based on yourself personally. But I think you should largely do it based on the department. For example, if you are in an accounting department, then the accounting needs to have certain profile, right? So what would be important for your accounting department? Now, the other thing I want to talk about just to frame this, so this is in week 4, this is an analysis. So what you're trying to do, and analysis is where you take concepts and you break them into parts. So we're saying you got the competing values framework and you got the concept of organizational health. Now let's break it up into parts. So let's understand your cultural preference and your skills. Let's understand your organization's what it needs, and let's understand your department. So that's what this is about. In week 8, you're going to be doing synthesis, where you're going to combine all of what you're learning in this course into what really needs to happen for your organization to improve its health. So that's the summary. Now let me go into some of the details. So you're going to go in the course, you're going to click on the link and you're going to see this comparing personal department and organizational cultural assessment assignment instructions. So the first part is what we're going to have you do is to use the OCAI. You use this in week 3, but we're going to have you get 5 to 10 people to use it. Now there's 2 options. One is you can send them a spreadsheet. They can fill that out. The other one is they can use the website. The website's probably easier. The key issue is that on the website, you can't use an email from Google, Yahoo, or other generic sources. So if you're in an organization that has a .org, .edu, or a company email, then they can use it. You can only fill this out once every 90 days. So you can decide which of these options you want to use. Let me just walk you through the steps, and if you use the OCAI survey. So you would email them the spreadsheet, and if you read the instructions, the whole point of this is essentially what you're doing is you're saying, okay, let's break up 100 percentage points, and which of these is true. So the organization might be a fairly personal place, so I'll give 20 percentage points. It's very entrepreneurial. It's, let's say, very results oriented and controlled. And then you can see that this totals to 100, so you don't have an error. So the first one is going to be based on what is currently, and this is what the organization is, not what you prefer, and not just what your department is. It's what the organization is. And under the desired, what the desired should be is what the organization should do optimally to most achieve its mission. This isn't just your personal preference. So, and then people would fill all of those out for their organization, and then it's going to create a graph. Now, right now, this graph isn't balanced because I haven't filled out all the components of it. But then it'll show a graph, and then in the end, what you're going to do is you're going to combine them into a group survey. So you would take this column and you would copy this column into the second spreadsheet. So this is OCAI 1, and then you'll see this is 2-OCAI. So you would, if you copied it right, then you could copy each person's into the spreadsheet. Now, And then you also want to take this, and what it's going to do is it's going to show an average of all of those. If you did this right, it's going to create an average of all of those, and then it's going to give a graph. Now, so that's all in option 1. And what you should do is have them email you the spreadsheet back, and if they're completed online, you need to have them email the PDFs. And if they email you the PDFs, what you need to do is you need to take do a cut and paste of that part. There's 2 ways you can do that. One is if you're in Windows, you can hold Windows Shift and S, and then you can drag it. Or if you're in a PDF, usually I think there's under the edit menu, there's something where you can take a snapshot, and you would put the results for each of the people that you surveyed. And all that is basically to collect data. So that's not your project. Your project is to write a 5 to 8 page paper answering the following questions. So, and initially, some of these questions is I want you to think about it initially, but you're going to think about it much more deeply for your final project. So that's just to kind of explain that. So you have the organizational, personal, and department, and I'll probably change the order. So you start with, well, I'm not sure which I'm going to do. What recommendations do you have? What steps can you move from one culture to the other? And then on the personal perspective, thinking about, what's the difference? We had you talk about this in one of your forum assignments. The goal here is for you to go deeper, and forum assignment is to think about that initially, and then on the department, thinking about how your department relates to the larger organization, and then try to combine all of them. So if you have any questions, ask your faculty member, and some of these spreadsheets could be kind of difficult, so email us and let us know. One other thing, if you run into problems with trying to do the OCAI online, you or other people, then you can move to doing it through the spreadsheet. So thanks a lot.